their marital problems go a little bit further back. That when Dean was using drugs, you want to tell us about that as well?
My drug of choice was cocaine, and I drank a lot. I went to rehab. And I've.
How long have you
But I
been
think that was
sober,
an
Dean?
outlet for him because he
Since
wanted
September
to
of last year.
be with his
Oh,
friends.
good.
So-
Congratulations on your sobriety.
You know it's a struggle. You know it's a struggle.
It's hard, especially the drinking. But for some reason, haven't had a taste at all for it or desire. I mean, which is good for me. I remember the hangovers were horrible. And
Yes.
I don't get them like that anymore.
Good.
That's good.
So you were in the military?
Yes, I was.
Okay. We thank you for your services.
Well,
Absolutely.
Monica, do you throw into Dean's face his issues with substance abuse? One of the things our producer said is one of the things you fight about is that you constantly remind him of that time when he was using.
I don't think it's about the actual using. I think it's about the circumstance behind it because he would take off to go and do stuff, and I would always have to wonder if he was coming home or not.
So it's the unreliability when he was using that caused conflict. So how does that feel now, Dean? I mean, you've had almost about a year, right, of sobriety behind you. And so have you been able to sort of try to work on this, get her to trust you in other ways?
I don't take off and not come home anymore.
But we were separated for 6 months.
Yes, we were separated for 6 months.
So it's a big deal.
Okay.
Was there physical abuse while he was on drugs and drinking?
No.
No, it
Never.
was more just, crazy altercations and verbal, and it was...
Monica, you mentioned that you have 4 kids, right? Other than the son you're raising now. There was some issue with your kids, and Dean, tell us about that.
It got to the point where I felt like I had been raising my kids all this time, then we moved into a house together, and he likes things a certain way, structured. He was by himself, not to mention, and then military. And we weren't in that way, and so it just caused problems because he wanted things a certain way, and my kids weren't doing what he wanted, so we were always butting heads because it was like he always wanted things done this way and that way, but he wouldn't go to me to address it with them. He would
what
go
eventually
around
happened?
me.
Where are your kids now?
My kids all left when they graduated, the older ones. Now, when I separated from Dean in February last year, we were separated for 6 months, and I did take all 3 kids. My twins that are 17 and our baby was with me, and he was coming back and forth with Dad. Now my kids, my 17-year-olds, did refuse to come back home with me because they gave me a choice. I either had to come stay with them or come back with my son and with my husband.
And you left them, the 17-year-olds?
Yeah,
Where?
with my older son.
How did you feel to do that?
It still hurts her to this day, but it isn't like she left him, okay? At the time, we were working things out.
Yeah, well, maybe not to you, but to that kid.
Oh, no, I totally understand.
17 years old, and there's no mom, and there's no figure in their lives. I mean, that's like you left them. I'm sorry. You left them.
We're trying to understand. We're trying to get a better understanding of that, Monica, because I don't think we quite understand how that all went down.
They refused to come back. Cops were called. I tried to get the cops to bring them home to me. They refused, and they said because they're so close to 18 that they couldn't physically make them stay with me.
So what's your relationship with your kids now?
It's non-existent right now.